We need to set the record straight.
Arey bapre.
The internet says you were born in Bangalore, but that's not true, is it?
Well, that's one of the smaller rumors about me. The nicer ones. If they say so, believe it. Let's just believe that I was born in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Although between you and me, I was born in Pune.
Oh, wow. Okay, tell us a little bit about your childhood. What was it like before?
Well, I grew up as a Fauji kid. My dad was in the Indian Army. He was a doctor in the Army. He's still a doctor, but no longer in the Army. My mum, surprisingly, used to be a journalist. Yeah, ironic. And then she turned housewife with my dad. I grew up all over the country. I went to 14 schools in 12 years. I had to make new friends every year. The girls used to not like me because the new girl has come to school, whatever. So I only had guy friends. I was a tomboy. I used to play basketball for district level and state level in states like Haryana and UP, where the average girl used to be double my height and double my width. And one punch from her, and I used to fly all the way off to the football field. So my upbringing was very, very grounded, very sporty, and very fun. Like, I wish if I have children, I could have give them the same army upbringing. Because civilian kids kind of missed out on that fun stuff. Sorry, guys.
And you're very close to your family?
Extremely. I think I've been lucky to be born with my soulmates. So I consider my mom, dad, and my brother to be my soulmates. And we have an extremely deep bond that goes beyond words, beyond actions, and we tend to understand each other. Of course, we've trauma bonded now, so we're kind of inseparable. But even before that, I think we've been 4 best friends living under a roof. I still live with my parents. I'm 33 years old, and a lot of my friends are like, oh, now you're big enough, old enough, move out. And I'm like, why? घर का खाना मिलता है, घर में best friends मिलते हैं, bills नहीं देना पड़ता. It's perfect.
There's no need to move out.
Yeah, what independence? I don't want independence. I want to be dependent on my parents.
Yeah. So when we met earlier this week, you talked about resilience, you talked about reinvention. Let's talk about the resilient first. You were an ambitious young person, you were on MTV, then you made your debut in Telugu cinema, you found success in Bollywood. And then suddenly, one fine day, you're in jail, caught in a living nightmare. And we were all at home with COVID in this similar sort of pressure cooker situation, watching it all play out for you. If you're comfortable with it, can you talk about some of your really deep, dark moments during that time?
Deep and dark, so many. Well, I think for me, if I talk about some of my darkest moments brought me the most light that I have ever seen. Because in your darkest moment, you have to really fall down in the abyss of darkness to find light, real light. Not external light, not the kind of spotlight that's on me today, but a very inner sort of light. And I think it was probably my 13th or 14th day in jail. And after 2 weeks, you kind of start thinking that, acha, log mujhe bhul to nahi gaye hain bahar. Have they forgotten that they have to get me out? Like, what's going to happen to me? And you have this real urge to victimize yourself, of being like, why me, poor me, what's going to happen to me, who will marry me, will I ever get a film again? So there's a negative spiral that kind of keeps shooting in your head. So I was at rock bottom. I was in one of those really dark places. And I asked the jailer at that point if I could get out, because I was in solitary confinement. I had COVID, so quarantine, etc. Don't feel bad, huh? Sab ho gaya abhi 5 saal pehle. I know some people start crying and all that. I'll have to console you also. Don't make me console you all. I'm telling you all now. Yeah, I'm good, I'm great, I'm making lots of money.
That's so awesome to hear.
Yeah, no pity, no pati, only sampatti. This is my dialogue for life. So I requested this lady who was really lovely, by the way. And I said, I want to go to the jail library because I need to read I need a book. And I was asking the universe and God and any spiritual force that I believed in to give me an answer. Show me something, some direction. Kuch to batao kya ho raha hai. So I went to the library with the intention that whichever book I pick up, the first page that I opened like randomly, and I used to do this in school, whatever's on the right side up top will be the universe's message to me. And my life was very filmy, so this part wouldn't be hard to believe. When I entered the library, one book fell on my head. I was like, oh, okay, this is it. I opened the book and it's Paramahansa Yogananda ji's book, and I happen to be a big believer of his work and his guidance. And I was like, okay, this is a sign. I open it. And I look top right and it says, we are all actors in God's play. We are all actors in God's play, so don't take it personally. I was like, what? Don't take it personally. Shit, I've been taking this so personally all this time. And I kept shutting the book and opening the book and reading it again. And I realized, oh my God, this is not about me. This is not about Rhea Chakraborty, daughter of Lieutenant Colonel Indrajit Chakraborty, actress, this. It's not about you. There's a larger thing at play, and you're just a spoke in the wheel, and you're just a part. You're not that important that everybody hates me now, because that's where I was going. And that humility of realizing that even though it seems like it's about you, it's not about you. We live in a galaxy there's many galaxies, and we live in one galaxy where there are many planets, and that one planet is Earth. In Earth, there's so many different continents. In one continent, one country, one city, one jail, I was sitting. So it can't all be about me. And that really was a dark moment that brought so much light and understanding to me that I never saw life the same way again thereafter.
That's really interesting. I mean, that's divine intervention there. But you've also said that in your most vulnerable moments, you also felt incredibly powerful. Where does that strength come from?
I think truth has a power. If you are on the side of the truth, automatically you feel powerful. Because I remember that the day I was arrested, out of nowhere, a lady cop showed up to kind of escort me to the van that was escorting me to jail. And she looked at me, and for some reason, she didn't even ask me, or she wasn't one of those people who kind of assumed that I was not innocent. She looked at me and said, "तूने कुछ नहीं किया है ना?" So she's like, "जब बाहर जाएगी ना, तो ऐसे मुंह उठा के जाना." I was like, "अच्छा, true, yeah, I haven't done anything." And that actually gives you a lot of strength, because you remember who you are. You have to keep reminding yourself of who you are. And if you can, sleep with yourself and love yourself despite the world, that's kind of the only thing that matters. And there were moments in my life where even the few friends that I had left could not enter my house, could not enter my building, could not be there for me despite wanting to be there. And I had those moments by myself in front of the mirror in the bathroom when I would brush my teeth, about to leave for yet another investigation, and I would look at myself in the mirror, and it's almost like I would have a chat with myself. And I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, "Teri fat rahi hai na?" And it's like the mirror would be like, "Yeah." And then I would tell myself, "Main hu tere saath, chal." And that would just give me so much power. I can't explain the strength in being there for yourself. That strength is so much larger and greater than the strength or the power or the nice words or the validation anybody else can give you. That's why I think I felt the power, because I think I found myself in tragedy.
And it's interesting that you say that the lady said that believe in yourself, and you've talked about that before. You now believe in every woman's strength, right? You've said that is something that you've discovered through this process. Now, yesterday was World Mental Health Day, and you have talked about the PTSD that you've been through, and you've talked about it a lot. Why is that important to you?
It's important because what I experienced was just purely because people don't understand mental health, right? So if someone's successful and someone's famous, how can they be depressed? How can they do something to themselves? Whereas in fact, more for men than for women, because we at least are vocal about our emotions. We don't bottle them up. We talk to each other. We have little communities of female friends. We share everything. Men have this unfortunate conditioning, and I feel bad for them. And I feel like we have been bashing them quite a bit, saying you don't understand anything. But the truth is that they've had the upbringing to be very hard and be very in control, and expressing is bad, and that's why most of them are angry. And there's so much of this, wife beating, etc., that comes because of their conditioning. And unfortunately, for those men, it's really important to remove that stigma. And I think the more people who are in a position or in a spotlight like this should speak about what their mental health bad days are, what their mental health disorders are. We all certainly have some, and if you don't have mental health problems in today's era, then you're close to God. So uh, I don't believe anyone in this room has not at least suffered from anxiety or depression or some sort of panic attack. And that is why it's important to talk about it, because we're all in this together. Why are we pretending like we are not?
Also, but you talked about the fact that you are from a very close-knit family. Everything that you went through, and unfortunately your family had to come along for that ride. Did it change the dynamics? Because you said, they're your best friends. How did things change? Because they went through an equally, in fact, more difficult time.
I think the true understanding of what my family went through hit me when I got the CBI clean sheet. Because till then it was for me that the day this clean sheet comes, because I know it'll come someday, is when everything's magically just going to become okay. Sab theek ho jayega. And the day it happened, I remember me hugging my brother, and all of us were hugging each other and crying. My mom and dad were in the room, and I remember while crying, sensing, looking towards my brother, looking towards my mother and my father, and realizing, oh my God, they're never going to be the same again. It's सब कुछ ठीक नहीं हो जाएगा, सब कुछ ठीक कभी हो ही नहीं सकता है. The ठीक now is a different ठीक, the normal is a different normal, the father is a different father, the mother is a different mother, and the brother is a different boy. And that was actually like one of my hardest moments to accept the fact that something happened that was so deep and so impactful that despite the resilience that we had and the fight that we had, we're never going to be the same. Are we going to be better in some ways? Are we going to be more enlightened in some ways? Are we going to be liberated in some ways? Yes, maybe. Are we going to be richer? I'll make sure of that. But are we going to be the same? No. And I do carry a lot of guilt when it comes to my family, because I felt like, yeah, I was dating someone. Like, me going through the mud was one thing, but like, what were they doing? They were not dating the same person, right? So that was hard. There was a moment in 2021, like 1 year after the trauma, when I realized, oh shit, like these guys are not okay. Like, we're not even at zero, we're at minus. And I remember telling myself that from now on till the entirety of your life, if you have one goal, that is just to bring this family back up to zero. And I like to proudly say, we're at 100.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. Now let's move on to the reinvention. Let's talk about chapter 2. Chapter 2 is also your podcast. Mm-hmm. It's also your new clothing line, which you're doing with your brother. Tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, like, I was like ostracized by society, thrown out of movies, and not that I was some big star before. None of my films, all my films together collectively had made 100 crores, okay? And my brother had got 98 percentile in CAT, and he had got a seat in IIM, and long story short, we both went to jail, and both our careers went to shit. So 1 year later, we were like, what the hell do we do? We have to do something. We can't sit at home while dad goes to work. Like, we are young, we are able-bodied, like, we need to make money, we have legal fees to pay. So we're like, can we make something? Can we sell something? And it started from sabun bechte hain, to mirchi bechte hain, to evil eyes bechte hain, to I don't know what all. And initially, I wanted to call the brand Chudail Ka Badla. This is true. And I really believe that it was a great name. I really wanted to call it that. Maybe like positive naam rakho and all. So anyway.
Just for the record, I think it would be a great name.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a stand-up comedy act called Chudail Ka Badla someday. And then I said, should we just make t-shirts? Because when I got arrested, for some reason I was wearing one t-shirt that fell into my arms from the cupboard that day, which said roses are red, violets are blue, let's smash the patriarchy, me and you. Because I saw that t-shirt, some NGO related to like menstrual something had sent it to me years ago, and it happened and I wore it, and people started posting it and it became like a whole thing on social media. And my brother and I decided we'll make 100 t-shirts, just 100 t-shirts, and we will sell it to our friends in Bandra only. And we'll make some money. Now, it just so happened that we made 100 t-shirts and we sent few to I said, I have actor friends, let me send it to them. Let's see, someone might wear it. Because they were too scared at that point to support me. It was very difficult. They used to get trolled and all of that. As luck would have it, Alia Bhatt and Varun Dhawan wore the same t-shirt, which was a reject, by the way. It was supposed to be burgundy, but the vendor made it rust. And we hated that color. And they both wore the same t-shirt on the same day and got papped, and it became like a huge thing. And we've sold 10,000 rust t-shirts till date. And people still come to the store and say, wo rust t-shirt dena. And we don't want to make that anymore. But that t-shirt just happened to become the t-shirt that made Chapter 2 what it is today. And today we have a store on Linking Road, and we're hopefully going to open a few more. And yeah, it's looking up. It's looking good.
I mean, the universe has clearly sent you messages through T-shirts, through books, through everything. What about the podcast? I mean, that's been quite empowering for you to have some pretty great conversations, right?
So, I mean, obviously, after what I went through, I didn't trust anybody, like, to talk to, like, go on anyone's channel and all, no chance. I tried to even go to some of the new age media, that like the cooler ones, and they were also the same, just covered in this garb of youth, but they were also the same, very like scandalous. And I felt there are no safe spaces for people to just come and chat without someone trying to make a scandal out of their life or trying to talk about their breakup or some crisis that happened in their life. So I decided I'll create that, because a lot of my healing came through other people's journeys and other people's stories. What randomly started happening after 2020 is even very senior, older people who would meet me for the first time would tell me their deepest, darkest, most pain point. Like, I bumped into someone somewhere and they'd be like, beta, I just want to tell you, me and my wife also had 3 miscarriages before we had a son. And I would be like, oh my God, that's heavy, dude. Like, why are you telling me? And then I realized that people are telling me because they have seen my trauma in public, so they feel like they should also share. So most people come to my podcast and cry. Everybody cries on my podcast.
You know, you're a young, ambitious person, but have the last few years changed what you want from life? Like, what do you want to achieve from this life?
I've definitely changed a lot, and a lot of it is for the better. I think the most amazing change that I feel I have learned and absorbed and utilized in my life is that I really don't care. I don't care about what people think about me, which is not a thing I'm just saying. It's become a real thing for me. You may think anything now, and that is better. So that has really liberated me. I don't care. What I want from my life now is peace. I value peace over anything, mental and physical and emotional. And what I don't want from life is any more legal situations.
Amen, amen to that.
And no news is best news. When I'm not in the news, I love it. If I Google my name and nothing new has come, I'm like, wow, yeah, so nice.
Life achieved. Talking about that, peace. How do you find peace in this increasingly toxic world?
I think peace is really in the little things. It's in spending time with people you love. It's in eating a nice home cooked meal. It's in just talking random rubbish with like some of your friends. It's in being able to, like, for me, peace is normalcy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but normalcy feels like so good to me. Just to be able to wake up in the morning and feel normal, that I'm just a normal person who can go to work, who can live a life, who can come here, who can dress up or not. And it's just that value of life that I don't think I valued my life as much as I do now. And that, I think, is a gift that anyone who goes to some sort of life altering trauma receives at the end of it. Because relatively, now everything is going to be better. Right. So relatively, I'm always happy. If I go through like any boy problems and all, my brother's so happy. He's like, wow, Riyadi, boy trouble, high five to normal. So I'm saying those things have really changed. The smaller problems don't irritate me anymore. And yeah, that's peace for me.
What's your advice to people who are going through vicious trolling online? Because that's not limited to celebrities, right? Young people are constantly being bullied on social media. What's your advice to them? How are you supposed to deal with it? Do you just deal with it? What do you say?
I think Sunil sir said it in the best way. I think there's two things here. One is that being a victim is a choice. You can either choose to be a victim or you can choose to be a survivor. You can survive what happens to you and you can move forward in life. A lot of people are drawn to victim complex because it's very seductive. It's dark and you're sad and oh my God, meri zindagi mein kya ho gaya? Like, guys, look at me. Pity is very nice also. It's very attractive because people are like, are you okay? You know, people care about you fakely, like because they feel pity for you. So I think choose to not be a victim no matter what happens in life. It's a mindset. And secondly, I think like Sunil sir said, if you have a relationship with yourself and you understand that your inner validation and your inner voice is more important than anybody else's, only then and only then can you surpass anything that other people are saying to you. Unfortunately, a lot of people seek external validation, and I do get the charm. It is attractive. I did have the opportunity. I didn't have the opportunity to have any external validation for many years, which is why I was forced to seek inner validation. I was forced to find validation for myself within myself, to speak to myself and tell myself that you're good, you're golden, you're going to go, you're going to get better. But people need to do that. Your relationship with yourself is the single most important thing in this life. And if you are going to go past your entire life not having a good one with yourself, then nothing else truly matters. So I think just the two things.
On that note, you recently got your passport back. Where are you going next? Where are you going to travel? Where are you going to go on holiday? What's on your bucket list before you die?
You know, it's so strange, right? Like till I didn't have my passport, I just like, I was so also like, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I was so jealous of my friends. Like Europe ja rahe hain, yahan ja rahe hain, and like, you know, like so many things I wanted to buy or like places I wanted to be. Strangely, now that I've got the passport in my hand, like India is only feeling like Europe. Like Bangalore's feeling like Switzerland. I can't explain. So everyone's asking me, why haven't you left yet? When are you going to go and all? And I'm like, जाऊंगी ना जब भी मेरा मन करे.
Now you can.
You know, now I can. So I do want to travel the world and I will. But I think getting the passport back was less about going on those trips and going to those malls, but more about just having my freedom and my liberation in my hand, having my power back with me, and in a way like winning against forces that were larger than me.
Well, we're very glad that you traveled to Bangalore to have this conversation with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.